what I wanted to ask you was, so I've studied it and I totally get the concepts and all that sort of stuff. The practical uses of it and the uses in both improvising and composition. So, one question that I have is that, would you actually use it in the situation of a band or even in your own composing and arranging, where the bass department is, and let's say it's a C A D G 1625 on an actual C and A D, and then in the voices or in your improvising go through E flat minor 6, B flat minor 6, F, like that, or do you only use them when they're all gone negative?
I see what you mean. So you mean when each hand is doing something that are opposite to each other. And that's a very ancient idea. Somebody like Bach would approve of that sort of contrary motion and things. I think that it's very important not to take negative harmony very, very literally. In terms of, I wouldn't play this E flat minor 6 voicing on this B flat minor 6 voicing. It's more about, if you approach a key center plaguily, then it makes you feel something. Right. And so you can play 3-6-2-5 traditionally in your left hand and cadence plaguily in your right hand. That works totally fine. You can do the other way around. You can do a very ordinary cadence, 3-6-2-5-1, and then plaguelize your left hand. But yeah, in terms of writing, there's lots to be gleaned from just listening to the sounds and organising and stuff like that, flipping voicings and stuff. But yeah, I think it's very important to bear in mind that the reason why negative harmony is a big concept and not a small concept is because it's based in this very ancient fascination that humans have had with symmetry and polarity and things like that. So, it's not that B flat minor 6 should therefore be your D7. It's more that here's a key center, and if you approach from this side, you can validate the approach of that towards that key from this side with a concept called negative harmony. But that concept, it's originally a melodic concept.
Yeah.
And you can flip all the intervals of C major ascending down with the G.
Yep.
And that, so you can flip melodies, you can flip chords and stuff. But for me, it's a gestural concept. It's to do with this way or this way. And so once these sounds are in my palette, I don't think about I'm sitting down to write a song. And I'm going to use negative harm. That if I did that, I'd think I'd criticize myself for being too much in my left brain.
Right.
Because for me, any chord or any choice you make with your writing, it should be maybe I wouldn't say like a right brain, but it should be some kind of emotional decision.
Yeah.
If I want to feel like this,
that.
so once that's said, you can polarize the directions. You can have one thing landing like this, one thing coming chromatically, because obviously with every 3-6-2-5-1, you can do chromatic bass note, and you can do chromatic chords rising, and you can do voicings that have motion, because it's all about motion.
Totally.
So if motion comes this way and motion comes this way, it's great. Or if motion goes this way, that's also fantastic. But the most important thing to remember is that there's a resolution point, and also the gestures that you're using, it should hit you here. It shouldn't hit you here.
Yeah,
does that make
it should
sense?
come from a place of that first and be a choice.
Yeah, really, I think it's exciting to think about negative harmony as it's like a new way of generating sounds. Like before my friend Barrick told me about negative harmony, I'd never have considered that A7 has the same amount of going towards C as E flat minor 6.
Yeah.
But once he told me that, I was like, what? And after the initial, it's like, okay, now I have more sounds. And once you have more sounds, then you can make more decisions.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I get that. So if I'm in a trio and they're going C, A, D, G, and in one of those chords I decide to go E flat minor 6 and then bring it back in, I know what that sounds like, and that's from a place of wanting to create that tension there.
Yeah, for sure. And one interesting thing to note about negative harmony is that traditionally, if you do it very literally, then all major chords become minor.
Yeah.
But they don't have to. So what Keith Jarrett might play is E flat major, B flat major, F major to C. He'd arrive at a key from major, just because plagal major is a very gospelly way of approaching a key.
Yeah.
So E flat minor 6, you can do E flat 6 or E flat major 7 or
totally.
E flat sus or anything you want, because the motion is equivalent. What matters is I'm going to C, I'm 3 chords off C. What are my options? I could do E flat major, D major, D flat major, C major. That's a valid way of going to C. I could do 3-6-2-5-1. I could do plagal 3-6-2-5-1. I could do whatever I want to, but it should sound first. If you want to think about it, you can. Sometimes thinking about things gets new sounds, but if you play an E flat minor 6 chord and it feels good, then
sounds good, man.
Fantastic,
Thank you.
Great.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely, no worries.